Leading through a crisis is one of the most significant tests of character, skill, and resilience that any leader will face. In these defining moments, the actions you take and the example you set can make the difference between chaos and cohesion, between collapse and recovery. While there is no universal playbook that fits every situation, there are time-honored approaches, rooted in both research and experience, that can guide leaders through the storm. Let's explore the top 10 approaches to leading through crisis, each a vital element in helping teams not only weather the turbulence, but emerge stronger, more united, and more capable than before. Begin with the foundation. Stay calm and centered. In times of uncertainty, the emotional climate of an organization is set from the top down. When panic erupts or events spiral out of control, people look to their leaders for cues, searching for stability, reassurance, and a sense of direction. If a leader is visibly anxious, irritable, or erratic, that tension quickly ripples outward, magnifying confusion and fear. But when a leader meets the moment with composure, it creates a calming effect, anchoring the entire team. This isn't about faking optimism or suppressing all emotion. Rather, it's about cultivating an inner steadiness, practicing mindfulness, stepping back for perspective, and taking time for daily reflection, even if only for a few minutes. When employees see a leader who is grounded and thoughtful, it signals safety and inspires confidence. This sense of calm becomes the bedrock on which all other crisis responses are built. Next, communicate transparently and frequently. In a crisis, information is often incomplete or rapidly evolving, and rumors can fill the void. People fear what they do not know, and uncertainty can be more paralyzing than bad news. Effective leaders combat this with clear, honest, and frequent communication. Share what you know, clearly stating the facts as they are, but also acknowledge what you do not know, explaining the steps being taken to find answers. Use multiple channels, emails, video updates, virtual town halls, so that your message reaches everyone wherever they are. Even if you have little new information, regular updates reassure your team that you are engaged and transparent. This consistency builds trust, reduces speculation, and aligns everyone around a shared understanding of the challenges ahead. Empathy is your next essential tool. A crisis is not just a business event, it is a profoundly human experience. People may be coping with fear, grief, financial strain, or uncertainty about their future. Leaders who recognize and validate these struggles forge deeper loyalty and commitment. Ask how your team members are really doing. Listen without judgment and acknowledge their challenges. Show flexibility where possible, such as adjusting schedules or offering mental health resources. Remember, empathy is not about lowering standards or ignoring performance. It's about creating an environment where people feel supported and understood, which in turn strengthens their resolve to meet expectations. When people know that their leader cares about them as individuals, they are far more likely to rally, endure, and contribute their best. Decisive yet informed choices are the fourth approach. Crises often demand rapid action, but rash decisions can be just as dangerous as hesitation. The key is to strike a balance. Act swiftly, but ground your choices in the best available information. Use frameworks like the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act, to structure your thought process. When prioritizing, consider the Eisenhower matrix to separate urgent from important tasks. Recognize that no decision will be perfect in a fast-moving crisis. Prioritize actions that are reversible so you can pivot as new data emerges. Indecision can paralyze an organization, but thoughtful decisiveness keeps you moving forward, adapting as you go. Fifth, delegate and empower your teams. No leader can navigate a crisis alone. Trying to do everything yourself leads to exhaustion and bottlenecks. Instead, assemble a core crisis response team, drawing on a range of perspectives and expertise. Empower these teams to make tactical decisions within their areas of responsibility, trusting them to act quickly and adapt as needed. Delegation not only distributes the workload, but also accelerates the response, as those closest to the problem can respond fastest. Your focus as a leader should be on strategic oversight, setting direction, removing roadblocks, and supporting your teams as they execute. This collaborative approach builds organizational resilience and ensures that leadership is not a bottleneck, but a force multiplier. Throughout the crisis, maintain focus on your core values. It can be tempting to cut corners or compromise on principles in the name of survival. But it's during the most challenging times that your values matter most. Whether your organization is guided by integrity, transparency, customer focus, or employee safety, these principles should remain your North Star. Refer back to them as you make tough calls. Let them guide not just what you do, but how you do it. Consistently living your values reinforces your organization's identity and builds trust with both employees and stakeholders. In the end, staying true to your core beliefs will help you emerge from the crisis with your reputation and culture intact. Adapt with agility. The ability to pivot, to change tactics, reallocate resources, or even rethink your business model is vital in a crisis. Rigid adherence to old plans or processes can be disastrous when conditions are changing rapidly. Instead, cultivate a mindset of disciplined flexibility within your team. Encourage experimentation, support innovation, and recognize that some risk-taking is necessary. Agility does not mean chaos. It means creating structures that allow for rapid testing, learning, and iteration. Be willing to sunset initiatives that are no longer viable and redirect energy where it will have the most impact. The organizations that emerge strongest from crisis are often those that can adapt quickly and creatively, seizing opportunities that others might miss. The eighth approach is to create a clear crisis action plan. In the fog of uncertainty, a well-defined plan provides structure and clarity. This plan should lay out roles and responsibilities, escalation protocols, communication timelines, and fallback strategies. It should be accessible to everyone involved and tested regularly through drills or tabletop exercises. Make sure your team knows what to do, when to do it, and why it matters. Regular debriefs and updates to the plan ensure it remains relevant as the situation evolves. Clarity in action is a powerful antidote to panic and confusion, keeping everyone moving in the same direction when it matters most. Inspire hope and vision. While managing the immediate challenges is critical, a crisis leader also helps people see beyond the current turmoil. Inspire your team by painting a clear picture of what lies on the other side of the crisis. Share milestones as they are achieved, celebrate small wins, and remind everyone of the purpose that unites them. This vision doesn't have to promise a quick return to normalcy. Sometimes it's about transformation, about building something better from adversity. Hope is not naive optimism. It is a powerful motivator that helps people persevere through hardship. When you communicate a compelling vision of the future, you give your team a reason to keep moving, even when the path is difficult. Finally, learn and reflect post-crisis. The conclusion of a crisis is not the end of your leadership responsibility. It is the start of a vital process of learning and growth. Conduct thorough after-action reviews involving voices from across the organization. What worked well? What failed? And why? What warning signs were missed? And what can be done differently next time? Capture these lessons and institutionalize them. Update your plans, train your teams, and build systems that make your organization more crisis-ready in the future. Learning from adversity is what separates good leaders from great ones. It is how you turn hardship into strength and uncertainty into wisdom. So, what does it truly mean to lead through crisis? It's not about having all the answers or projecting invulnerability. It's about showing up with courage, clarity, and compassion, day after day, even when the path is unclear. It's about acknowledging fear and uncertainty, but refusing to let them define your actions. The best leaders are forged in fire. They emerge from crisis not just having survived, but having elevated their teams and organizations in the process. As you reflect on these 10 approaches, Remember that leadership in crisis is both an art and a discipline. It demands presence and perspective, action and reflection, empathy and decisiveness. It asks you to be both anchor and sail, steady in your principles, but nimble in your course. Your ability to stay calm, communicate transparently, lead with empathy, make informed decisions, empower your teams, stay true to your values, adapt with agility, plan with clarity, inspire hope, and learn from every challenge will define not only your legacy as a leader, but also the future of those you serve. And above all, know this: while no leader can prevent every crisis, every leader can choose how to respond. In those choices lie the seeds of resilience, transformation, and renewal. Whether you are guiding a small team or a global organization, the principles of crisis leadership remain the same. Show up, listen deeply, act boldly, and never lose sight of the human beings at the heart of the storm. For in times of crisis, true leadership isn't just about surviving. It's about helping others find their strength, their hope, and their path forward. As you continue your leadership journey, let these approaches serve as your compass. Stay calm, communicate clearly, and lead with heart. Crisis is inevitable, but so is the possibility of growth, connection, and greatness. The way you lead now will echo long after the storm has passed.